Okay, we'll call to order, and first thing is to adopt the agenda, which will be kind of short tonight.
Do we need to do anything with this?
We've got to put it in writing form for 2 weeks before we could adopt it. So, I mean, there's no rush on it, but, I mean, that's
We
the
could-
only
Do we need
thing.
to add
If
it
we
to the
need to add it
agenda?
to the agenda, we can tonight,
Just do we need
just
to
to
do
look
anything
at.
to say that we received it?
Okay, that is the
Yeah, probably.
uh,
That's what we've done before.
the tax abatement program, we want to add that to the agenda then? Okay,
Yeah.
so, now we'll amend the agenda to add that to the agenda.
I'll make a
Just to add that it was submitted in writing for the board's review and for the public's review at the clerk's office.
Okay. And
We don't have
then
to
we'll
discuss
really
it
get into the meat of it.
next time.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
okay. Okay, the minutes from the last meeting, any corrections, additions, or?
I make a motion to adopt the
Oh,
agenda.
I'm sorry, yeah, right. We have a motion second to adopt the agenda. Kay made a motion, Nicole second. All in favor? That's unanimous. Okay, now the minutes, I'm sorry.
Page 4, motion was made by Fred White and seconded blank. Just so we can find it.
I didn't get us who did the second that night.
Let's see which one it was.
And I was hoping somebody could tell me what that was.
Oh, it probably was me.
Okay, we'll amend that, Cinnamon,
Okay. So that's, I thought so, but I wanted to make sure.
Yes, ma'am.
that's the only other,
That's the only thing I noted.
okay. We have a motion to adopt the minutes then as corrected. Nicole, need a second. Cinnamon, all in favor? That's unanimous. Okay, next thing on the agenda is the fair housing resolution for the grant. And let's see, I always get these confused, so this is a requirement from the CDBG.
That's right. Yes, it is.
And, they require us to adopt the federal housing, I got it covered up. Here it is. The Fair Housing Month, the Fair Housing Proclamation from the city. Y'all have a copy of that. Of course, we're required to do that, joining in with the federal statutes. And I won't read the whole proclamation, but let's say if y'all will give me the authority, I will sign it, and this proclamation will be run in the paper.
I moved it.
Okay. Kay
Can you
makes
do
that
that,
motion. Nicole second. All in favor? All right. Okay. The audit.
Did everyone have time to look over it? I called the low bid to ask them for more references on who they've worked for. They're currently doing the city of Greenwood and a bunch of other municipal type of agencies. And they came recommended by the county's accounting firm, who didn't have the capacity to give us the quote. But they also are from Greenwood, and they said there's this great firm that does Greenwood right down the road. And the only personal experience, they turned their bid in the same day that I called them to ask them if they wanted to bid. And these references were sent to me within 10 minutes of calling them and asking.
Okay, so they're prompt.
So their responsiveness was great.
What was that firm's name?
It was FTN, Fred T. Neely and Company.
Okay.
And they have, their resume was impressive, but it didn't actually have who they're working with currently. which is
Right.
what I
I do
wanted.
remember that one now.
But they're within $600 of our current, what we're currently paying. So I would renew, if everyone's had time, I'd renew my motion to engage with them for the audit for 2017.
Okay, that was the Fred T. Neely Certified Public Accountants. Kagan has that
I'll
motion
second
on the
that.
table. Cinnamon seconds it. Okay, all in favor of accepting the Fred T. Neely bid? Okay, all opposed? Okay.
So how do we want to proceed if I the contract?
Yeah, there will have to be a contract signed, yes.
So can I officially, I'll write in handoff email, an introduction to you and Vivian from the person I can talk to.
Right,
Okay, I'll do that tomorrow.
that will work. Okay. I do have one thing that's not on the agenda, and I'm sorry, I got it covered up, but it's grass cutting bids. We're really running a little late on it, but we do need to bid out our grass cutting services. And of course, that will have to be run in the paper for bids, 2 consecutive weeks. Basically, here's, and I just was trying to get this together this afternoon, so I don't know if I even got a copy to everybody, but just that we would receive sealed bids until 5 o'clock on the 17th day of April. And then we would open them probably on the 20th, because it has to be 15 days from the date. I think that would be the 20th. We may have to do a little quick special meeting for that. And just for the grass cutting service consisting of street right-of-ways and other areas that we might determine. And the bidder would need to submit an hourly rate for cutting and for weed eating, and they would need to submit proof of liability insurance in the amount of $500,000. And of course, we have the right to reject any and all bids.
How much of our grass cutting is done by contractors?
We really rev up in July, trying to get everything spiffed up for the city, so, I mean, for the Watermelon Carnival. We probably spend,
I think that on that.
yeah, about 10,000 a year probably.
It was about 10 or 12, I think, last year.
And
Maybe
it-
a little more than that.
And in the past, we've had 2 different ones, and the last time we bid it was a long time ago. And we've just been continually using those same, but I think we need to rebid it. And,
They've kept those same rates all those years
yeah,
from that bid.
yeah, that's right, it never went up, so.
That's great, yeah.
Uh,
It's better than hiring seasonal help through the city, just a contract out for that same.
And the wear and tear on
Our city
equipment,
equipment.
we don't have the equipment, first of all, to do it, that,
Okay.
you know. Because usually they'll start out by the bypass, cut all the way in, and then they'll
They've got
main
big
and
tractors
central,
and
and
all
then
that stuff, right?
throughout all the side streets at least once, and they try to get it twice. But we don't have the manpower or the equipment to do it.
does Mike oversee their work?
Yeah, it's under his streets department, and you know, we do get some complaints on them before, but they've always been addressed. You know, the people have taken care of it. And the ones that've done it, they've pretty well learned whose yard they need to, how far they need to go up, or where our easement stops and all, because there's been a few. But we have flowers planted there. Well, it may have been on city property, but we don't. So, but little things like that has to be addressed.
So does he track their hours, or they just self-report?
They've been self-reported.
Yeah, they've been self-reporting, and we hadn't had a problem. Pretty well, all of us can really kind of tell when they're out there
Mhm.
and when they're not. And a lot of times we'll call and say, we need this street done, we need this
Usually
entryway
it's
done.
pre-scheduled with
Yeah.
them.
Okay.
They just don't go out there.
Yeah, even if they get the bid, they still gonna take some directions and stuff.
Not willy-nilly.
Yeah, yeah, it's,
So it's no set number of hours during the week or anything like that, just what needs to be done?
what we need to be done.
Is there a cap if we
We,
contract
we
with
may,
someone?
we may need to cap that, you know. We've been, and I don't have a copy of the budget with me tonight, but it's budgeted it in there a little bit, and I know it's at least 10, maybe a little more than
I
that.
can see if the rates go up,
Yeah,
and if you want to.
well, I mean, like I said, we can always say, hey, we're through, you know, that's all we wanted this year. You know. And then we,
Look at that, those big
and our
ones.
department, they may have to do some extra cutting.
We have a new mower, one.
Yeah, we have one.
Keep one running at a time. Anyway, I suppose we do need a motion to get this in the paper to bid this out. All right, Nicole makes that motion. We have a second. Okay, all in favor? Thanks, everybody.
Do we need to make any motion about having received this, or just a statement?
Just in the statement.
Cool.
And I looked through Corinth's, Greenwood's, Greenville's, Vicksburg's, and another one, and that was the best language out of all those, in my opinion. Of course, we can tweak it however y'all like. That's where that language came from.
Okay, that's all that's on the agenda. We have anything else tonight? Fred?
I'd like to make no motion to the board may be sent back to once a month.
Motion to,
Board may be sent back to once a month.
board meeting to be set back to once a month.
Yeah.
Fred has a motion that we do away with the ordinance for 2 a month and go back to 1 meeting a month. All right. Do we have a second to that motion?
I have a question.
Okay.
When we set out to say we were going to have the 2 meetings, well, we already had when we had 1 meeting per month, that, you know, we get the information for the meeting like the week before that. That
Mhm.
was like the 8 days before the meeting, and, you know, we had time to prepare and everything. My concern with having a second meeting is, like, when we're getting the information for the meeting, not having enough time to prepare for the meeting. So we have 1 meeting, and you know we have lots of information to cover every meeting that we have. Initially, when it was 1 meeting, then when we added the second meeting to it. But when we don't have the information, you know, I know with the elections and everything, things have been busy, and, you know, with the schedule and everything, things have been kind of late and so forth. But then when we come for a second meeting, but then we're still here for 2.5, 3 hours, but we have so much information that we're trying to get through, but not prepared for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We haven't read through it. We haven't done anything to be able to vote on it. So, I mean, I think, you know, if we have 1 meeting, and then if there's something we need to decide and discuss, like within a week or 2 weeks, then we could call a special meeting.
That- Correct me if I'm
having the
wrong,
2
Daniel, but
meetings-
all right, the mayor can call a special meeting, or aldermen, 2 aldermen?
2 aldermen.
2 aldermen can call one.
Mhm.
So if there is anything, and I'm not, you know,
Right. I'm speaking for myself. That's
yeah.
my concern.
and so that could always be addressed, yeah. But anyway, we have a motion, so, you know, we do need a second really to get into full discussion, I suppose.
Okay,
So Nicole's second motion. So we have a motion, second, and discuss it, you know.
So I think that we have had plenty to do in 2 meetings a month. I think making it 1 meeting a month won't get us more productive, because we have 2 meetings worth of work a month.
Mhm.
I do think we need to follow the process that we put in place to receive all the supporting documents for the agenda a week before.
Not 6 o'clock before the meeting, which has been
Which is-
consistent.
Which is the process that we set out to have, and I know that we'll have a full board in an hour, I think. And so we can get our processes lined up, but I think the processes that we've laid out are good to give us a week to go through the documentation. But I think especially for the next however many months, we've had 2 full meetings worth of work to do every month.
Mhm.
So I don't know that we would be more productive if we took one of those away. I think if we just get the documentation for the meetings with enough time to prepare and read them, there's no reason why many of our meetings couldn't go as quickly as they have today if we have all of our stuff ahead of time.
And the other
But-
issue that I've experienced personally with being prepared for each meeting, it doesn't matter if we have 1 meeting or 2 meetings, we're not getting the information in time. We're not following the ordinance. We have no time to prepare, as Nicole pointed out. And we are really not following directly the way the state lays out to have 2 meetings a month. We're not supposed to adjourn the first meeting. It's supposed to be a continuation.
Recess meeting.
Recess the meeting, continuation of a meeting, so we've been adjourning the meeting, which is not proper practice. The other thing that we're trying to go to 2 meetings for is to not have 6 hours of meetings, but 3 hours of meetings spread over 2 meetings. So maybe an hour and a half here, an hour and a half there. It is allowed to continue to load up the agenda for each meeting, the first meeting and the second meeting. But do we want to further restrict adding something to the second piece of the agenda that doesn't tie back into what we had for the initial agenda at the beginning of the month? So you can spread it out.
I think that was one of the restrictions with just calling special meetings, was that your special meeting has to be specific to, you can't go outside the bounds of whatever you called the meeting for.
But
That's
you can
correct.
call it for more than one item.
You can, but like tonight, Fred made a motion. We're able to entertain that motion
Right.
because we are in a regular meeting.
Right.
Special meeting, we can't do that. So we're
Right.
going to call a special meeting every 2 weeks. It's going to have to be about something very specific like grass cutting.
Right.
Or we're meeting again about the tax abatement or something that we need to advertise in the paper. And we're going to also have special meetings on top of the 2 meetings if that's the way it lays out on the timeline.
Sometimes, it's always gonna be special meetings.
Right, that's all.
Gonna have to.
Yeah, that's right.
Because just like on these bids, where it falls, it won't hit on a board meeting night.
Right.
But, I mean, if you get the bids and come in and hopefully in 15 minutes' time, open them, look at them, study them.
I still believe that we have, it's a faster cycle so that we can deal with things like the second chance if we had had to wait for weeks to come back to that topic. All sorts of stuff
Yes.
could have happened socially and in the rumor mill. So I like that we have and I understand that
An opportunity.
every other Tuesday is not the
Right.
best. There are other things that we could be doing, but we signed up for this. And I think,
ask a question?
No, just a moment. Was you finished?
more of the same, that we can become more efficient and we can follow our guidelines so that we have time to prepare. But I think having a metronome of every 2 weeks, anything that's built up for the city to deal with, we can clear the docket. We're able to respond more quickly to the community. And it's on us to become more efficient.
And to be
about
honest,
how we're meeting
there are
stuff.
several issues that we have began processes on that I have like a 6-page typed note to myself. I think I sent to Daniel. We haven't followed up on. So there are a lot of open issues that we haven't had time to address because so many more other things that took precedence or timely precedence over those things that we were trying to push through the agenda that we came up with when we first got together, the one that was published in the paper front and back. We've still got so many issues to deal with. So I still believe in giving us several more months of chance to meet twice a month to try to catch up. We're still in our first year of trying to go through all these things and get used to everything and things that need to be changed and brought back to the table. We're still just finding contracts that we didn't renew when we first were supposed to. So we're very behind. So I do think that it's going to be something that's a tool for us to use for us to be more efficient if we follow the ordinance that we set forth for ourselves, because we simply can't read a stack of documents at 6 o'clock to be prepared for a 6:30 meeting, like Nicole brought up.
Then also, go ahead.
You and Kate, when I talked too much, we had time to, we all done in one meeting.
Thank you for your input.
Okay. Ms. Lane, yeah.
Yeah, and when you guys call special meetings, are they in the evenings like these are? And how would the public even know that you're gonna have a second meeting?
We do, it has to be posted 3 hours prior to a meeting, and sometimes they have to be during the day because they may deal with a contractor or
Well, I do think, you know, we've gone on and on about transparency, and I think,
That's, and
I do think
they are,
that-
yes,
that our
we need
citizens
posted
are-
3 hours in advance.
I think but that means that citizens would have to break away from their day to come up here to see if there's a thing posted here,
Most-
because we don't have a good way to
Most of the
alert
time,
public.
if we call one, we actually, like this, on this grass, we know we're probably going to have to call one. So we address it in the board meeting that we're going to probably be calling a special. And it would be a really, you know, problem to call one that we don't discuss, that we, hey, probably we're going to have to call one on this issue. You know, because we have to open these bids at this time, so we have to address them in this time. Most of our special meetings would be like that.
So how would I, as a member of the community, know? I mean, how
You,
would
we
I
would
be
address it
alerted?
in the board meeting. I mean, we will, this grass bid, when we, the next April, we'll know the day we will open them, and that will be addressed then.
We
And
have,
that's following a state statute. That's not something that's been put forth by the city. It's the Mississippi state statute, 3 hours.
Things
That's-
happen.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a motion, we got a second, we've had discussion. Go
I
ahead.
have one more comment.
Okay,
We're here, everybody has voiced their opinion on what they think about, you know, but one meeting versus 2 meetings. In about an hour or less than an hour, we're gonna have the other person that's gonna be our complete board.
right.
So to make it fair, I mean, yes, we can vote on it tonight. Everybody's expressed everything, but I mean, to make it fair, do we need to
I think we should wait for.
wait? Do we need to go on and vote? Do we need to?
We have to vote
I mean-
because we have a motion in a second. I mean, it doesn't mean, just because you vote tonight, that when a new one comes on, it can't be brought up again.
it can come up every night, so
It
we
can
can make
come
this
up
motion
every
every single
That's
meeting.
correct.
But we do have a motion, and we have a second, so we do have to vote. Now, if we vote, like I said, no, yes, whatever, that's, it can be voted on every
Put it
meeting.
out there. That's fine.
All right, so,
Actually, as part of the discussion, is there, Vivian, can we get you help or something that would help us
I
get?
need no help. I will get it to you as soon as I find out about it myself. I have to send you 500 emails.
and like the grass thing, that just hit me today, that, hey, you know, this is into March, and that should have been addressed in February.
And that's, I have, as much as I'd like a Tuesday evening back, I have no problem coming here for things that come up. I like having every other week touching base.
All right, let's vote. All in favor of Fred's motion? All in favor? 2 in favor. All opposed? 2 opposed. Daniel, I vote tonight. To break a tie.
Frankly, I don't know.
I think so.
Yes.
I think it.
In the event of a tie, you.
Event of a tie, the mayor votes. I'm gonna vote for the motion. That we do away with the second meeting. I mean, I'll just be honest, I was not for it to start with. I was,
Does that mean to re-adopt it, we'll have to go through the same process to adopt
Yeah,
a new ordinance?
so we will have to go 2 meetings in April.
Wait, so we have to issue a new ordinance, and then if we have a new older person who would like to reverse that, we will have to do the whole process again.
That's correct.
That is
That's not my favorite.
correct.
Am I?
Okay, is there anything else? Polls close in 4 minutes. If you hadn't voted, go vote. Anything else? All right, so this is the second meeting of the month, so we need a motion to adjourn.
Yeah.
Fred, motion, need a second. Cole, second. All in favor, stand up. All right, we will be adjourned.